Shinsuke Nakamura is one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time. I think that goes without saying. He was very popular in Japan. 3-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, 5-time IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Shinsuke absolutely ruled Japan for years. Also won the G1 Climax in 2011. Nakamura was one of the most popular wrestlers in Japan, which led him to sign to WWE in 2016. And this was a big deal because he had so much star power and popularity over in Japan. And Nakamura signing to WWE will be equivalent to if Tanahashi ever joined WWE. WWE held a press conference in Tokyo when they signed Nakamura, where he would eventually sign out on NXT. Nakamura could have easily went to the main roster and did his thing, but I think that WWE wanted them to get used to the style of wrestling that they do compared to what he did in Japan, a more safer style. So they started him in NXT, where his first match, his first opponent was against Sami Zayn at TakeOver Dallas. Oh my God, I was so excited for this. And when I tell you, the atmosphere and crowd for this match, before the match even started, it got this awesome chants and yes chants. With the crowd going back and forth chanting Nakamura, Sami Zayn chants. They didn't even lock up yet and the crowd was already standing up cheering. They knew that this match was going to be a banger. It was incredible. This was one of the greatest NXT matches of all time, without a doubt. One of the greatest WWE matches of all time as well. Nakamura looked really good here. Sami Zayn put him over, showing his awesome charisma. That's always been the best thing about Nakamura. This man just oozes charisma. He connects with the audience well because he has so much charisma. I'm like, man, this guy is so charismatic. Nakamura's presentation was off the charts when he signed with WWE. His entrance was incredibly over. His song got over quickly with the crowd. It became the bright spot about him. He won the NXT Championship twice before heading up to the main roster. He would make his debut on SmackDown after WrestleMania 33. And man, this segment, the way that WWE introduced Shinsuke to the main roster was absolute chef's kiss. It was perfect. It had everything. The crowd erupted. This pop was generational. The video on YouTube stands at over 30 million views. This was a perfect way to introduce Shinsuke to the main roster. He was already so over in NXT. I just knew it was going to translate over with the main roster audience as well. Under Vince McMahon, it was always that worry that Vince was going to ruin Nakamura, looking at the history on how Japanese wrestlers rarely succeed in WWE. Nakamura would actually pin John Cena in the #1 contendership match to face Jinder Mahal for the world title. Shinsuke actually lost to Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship, which was crazy. Nakamura was the perfect person to beat him, and it would have made Nakamura skyrocket to even higher heights in WWE at the time. It wasn't clean, but it still shouldn't have happened. Nakamura would get another opportunity against Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. The winner faces Jinder Mahal again, and he lost. And this was crazy. Shinsuke actually lost to Jinder Mahal twice after pinning Randy Orton and John Cena. Shinsuke can beat Randy Orton and John Cena, two of the biggest stars in WWE history, but he can't beat Jinder Mahal. Where's the logic in that? Not to mention, during one of the Jinder promo segments, he said some very racist things about Nakamura, mocking his accent and entrance and saying things like he gets his hair cut by a dog groomer. This segment received a lot of backlash and online criticism by fans. It was very racist, to the point where the crowd even started chanting, "That's too far." Jinder recently said in an interview with Chris Van Vliet that he really didn't want to say those things about Shinsuke in the promo segment, but Vince forced him to say it or he'll be fired. Not surprising, Vince and WWE has a history of being racist towards Japanese and foreign talent. After losing twice to Jinder Mahal, Nakamura would lose steam and kind of coast around SmackDown, not really doing anything significant. But going into 2018, Nakamura competed in the Royal Rumble and won, which is crazy. This is a Japanese wrestler winning the Royal Rumble. Soon as his music hit, the crowd went batshit crazy, singing his song and chanting his name. And I gotta say, the 2018 Royal Rumble is top 5 of this decade. It was so good. The return of Rey Mysterio, Cena, Balor, Roman as the last 4 with Shinsuke. Everything was just perfect about this Rumble. Shinsuke actually won the Rumble by eliminating Roman Reigns. Shinsuke pinned Randy Orton, John Cena, and eliminated Roman Reigns out the Rumble, but he can't beat Jinder Mahal. Man, Vince McMahon booking, I tell you. AJ Styles was WWE champion at the time, and this was the dream match a lot of people wanted to see, especially when you watched the Wrestle Kingdom match in Japan. It was just night and day. This was the match we wanted to see on American soil. Nakamura chose to fight AJ at WrestleMania. The match was set. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania 34. The build to this match was really odd and kind of bad. I think that WWE just figured that the match would be so good, so they didn't really need to significantly build this match, because in ring wise, when the bell rings, the match was just going to blow everything outside of the water, I guess. AJ was already a two-time WWE champion at the time, so a loss to Shinsuke here wouldn't really have hurt him. AJ was already a proven established main eventer, so I think losing here wouldn't have hurt him in the slightest. And this is where Shinsuke's career in WWE would completely die forever. We thought that we were going to get a 5-star classic reminiscent back to their match in Japan at Wrestle Kingdom. This match was not good. It was underwhelming. It felt nothing like the Wrestle Kingdom match. It was two completely different styles. It felt like they were just kind of keep it safe. And it just all comes down to WWE and Japan just have two completely different wrestling styles. You know, in Japan, it's a lot more fast-paced, hard-hitting, less watered down. And WWE is more like a, you know, nerfed, safe corporate style of wrestling. You can't go out there and do all the things that you did in Japan in WWE. Hence why, when you look at certain wrestlers that come from Ring of Honor or Japan, they look like two completely wrestlers. Like if you were to watch Kevin Steen versus Kevin Owens, those are two completely different people. Then surprisingly, Nakamura would turn heel, low blowing AJ Styles after the match. Nakamura was the hottest babyface in the company despite the language barrier. He connected with the crowd through his charisma, his entrance, and in-ring skills. He had it all. As a professional wrestler, he made fans care about him. Shinsuke couldn't verbally get over with the fans with his promo skills. He wins the Royal Rumble, then gets buried at WrestleMania. Japanese wrestlers have a curse in WWE with winning at WrestleMania. For the longest time ever, a Japanese wrestler never won at WrestleMania until Io Sky made history as the first Japanese wrestler to win at WrestleMania after 28 years. After this match, Nakamura was just never really the same. He had rematches for the WWE Championship against AJ, but would lose them all. His hype died, the fans moved on, and Shinsuke was demoted to the mid-card. He won the United States Championship and the IC Championship, but it never really meant anything because the reigns weren't good and just nobody really cared. You had this man pin John Cena, Randy Orton, eliminate Roman Reigns out the Rumble, but lose twice to Jinder Mahal. That is stupid booking. Nakamura would have been the biggest babyface ever if he won at Mania 34. And Vince McMahon buried him. This is just crazy when you think about it. Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura both win the Royal Rumble. The first ever Japanese wrestlers to win the Royal Rumble. And they both lose at WrestleMania when they needed to win the most. Does that like not ring a bell? Do you not see the pattern? Two Japanese wrestlers win the Royal Rumble on the same night, and they both lose at WrestleMania. When you think of Charlotte Flair and her career and all her accomplishments, do you ever think of, oh, she ended Asuka's streak at WrestleMania? No, it gets unheard of because Charlotte didn't need to win. Unlike Nakamura, Asuka actually won world championships in WWE, but all of her reigns were all awfully booked. Like, Asuka was never seen as that dominant force as she once was in NXT on the main roster. And it's no secret, foreign talent in WWE always have to work 20 times harder, especially with the language barrier. But when you're as over as Shinsuke was, there's kind of no excuse. And I kind of feel like whenever WWE has a Japanese wrestler, they just kind of always got to be like, hold on, wait a minute. We got to verify this, you know? Like, they don't really know how to relate, understand Japanese talent, in my opinion. Japanese wrestlers are usually some of the best wrestlers in the world. Just take a look at Io right now. She's the best wrestler in WWE and has hands down dropped the best women's matches of all time in WWE history. Like, Io isn't going to go out there and cut a 5-10 minute promo. That's not how Io is going to wow you or get over. It's the other things. And I just think that somebody like Io is just undeniable. You can't ignore that type of talent. No matter how limited she is on the microphone, Io Sky is a generational talent. And the glaring issue is always the title rings. Like Asuka, Io, and Shinsuke, and even Julia have all had low effort title reigns put in by creatives. And you can say, well, you know, they can't really speak English to develop a story, which is true. I'll give you that. But that's not an excuse not to defend the title. You can't defend the title because you can't speak English? Like what sense does that make? WWE needs to do a better job with presenting Japanese wrestlers. You know when you sign them that they can't speak English fluently on a microphone or develop a promo to develop a story. Therefore, you need to be able to use them in a way where you hide their flaws. You know that they're limited on the mic. Have them cut vignettes backstage with the subtitles or give them a manager. WWE is signing these talent, so it's their job to present them in the best way possible. Shinsuke recently won the United States Championship a couple months back and did absolutely nothing. He pinned LA Knight at Survivor Series and didn't defend the championship not once. His first title defense was a loss. Although I will say Triple H is 100% better than Vince at handling foreign talent, which is a low bar. That's not really saying much, but he still doesn't know how to book them accordingly. Look, I get it. WWE would much rather prefer an English-speaking wrestler as the face of the company. I understand. But if you're going to push these wrestlers and they check all the boxes and the fans care about them and they're drawing you money, you got to know how to utilize them right away. What if Shinsuke Nakamura won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 34? I guess we'll never know.